In the immortal words of Mark Twain, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. Folks, if we want to make improvements in our financial lives, if we want to start financial planning, we need to get started. And there's no better place to do that than getting organized, understanding your net worth, and your cash flow. We're going to be breaking down how to do financial planning over the next few weeks, and every single piece coming up will be made easier if you complete these steps. Many of the action items that we'll take over the course of this podcast will only take a few minutes to complete. This one's not going to be the case. Schedule 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how complicated your financial life is, to get this done. Probably listening to this while you're driving or in the middle of a chore and can't sit down right now to do this. And if that's the case, set an alarm on your phone to remind you to either schedule a time, or if you know in your head exactly when a time might be, go ahead and set an alarm for that time right now. That's your action step for this moment. And when you get to that time, set aside again 30 to 60 minutes to do these two action steps coming out of Monday's episode. Action number 1. Connect your accounts to Right Capital. Or you can find another account aggregator if you'd like. Otherwise, go to retirementmentorship.com/25, that's /25, and it'll bring you to the episode notes for this episode. At the bottom of that post are the action items for this and links to Right Capital, and in there you can set up all your accounts. That post will also outline in a little bit greater detail what accounts specifically you need to connect to Right Capital. I'll give you a quick rundown. Whichever software you're using, you'll want to connect your bank, including your checking and savings account and any loans you have through that bank. Any other liabilities you have, such as student loans or perhaps your mortgage or auto loans or credit cards, are through different websites. Connect all of those. Any of your employer retirement plans, both past and current 401ks or pensions, whatever you have there. If you have any IRAs or brokerage accounts, either that you manage yourself through Vanguard or Robinhood or any of those, or that you have with an advisor, you can connect all of those. And then other assets that you might have, such as the value of your home, that maybe don't have an online connection but can be added manually. Connect all those accounts to Right Capital, and then you will have your net worth and have a good organized view of everything you own. Again, retirementorship.com/25 to get that list and the links to the various items in this action episode, or there's also some links in the show notes of your podcast player to get to all of these. Action number 2 is to organize your files. As we talked about on Monday, get a OneDrive account. It's the fastest, easiest, most convenient, and most secure way to organize your files. And then you'll want to troll through all of your different financial companies and accounts to gather the following information. You want to gather your different accounts, so a most recent statement for any investment or retirement accounts you have, as well as for banking. Typically, we want to see a mortgage statement, which is a good way to see exactly what you're paying on your mortgage, how much time you have left, and how that payment and asset is going to figure into the rest of your financial plan. A photo of a voided check is handy to keep with these, as whenever you need to sign up for electronic banking, a lot of times they will need a copy of that, and so it's handy to have that on file. You also want to save all your insurances to your insurance folder. Home and auto insurance will have what's called a declaration page that you can save, which outlines all your coverages and what you have. You'll need that when we get to the insurance episode of the creating a financial plan. And any life, disability, or long-term care insurance you have, you can save your digital copies of your policies in there. If you have any life insurance that is a cash value policy, a whole life or a universal life, then you'll want a recent statement of that insurance as well, so you can see the value in there. Probably also want to go listen to episodes 14 through 20 if you haven't yet, which is all about permanent life insurance and how you probably don't need it. I would also save any health insurance summaries or policy documents you have in this folder for future reference. In your tax folder, the best thing to do at this point is to save the last 2 years of tax returns into there. You'll need that when we get to the tax planning episode. And when it comes to tax season, here is where you can save all your W-2s, 1099s, and any other tax documents you have to have those ready for easy and fast tax filing. If you're due a refund at tax time and you have all these things handy, you'll be able to get that submitted by mid-February instead of waiting until April. Get your money back in your pocket faster. It's easier to do when you're organized. In your employer folder, this is where you'll first want to save a benefits summary. Most employers will have a summary of all the benefits that they're giving you as along with your salary, and you can save that there. As well as you want to save your 2 most recent pay stubs. If you're paid twice a month or bi-weekly, sometimes these will vary a little bit because some of your benefits may only be taken out once a month instead of every 2 weeks or twice a month. And so it's good to have 2 of them just in case they differ. And then any other documents you have from your employer, depending on where you work. This is also just a great place to store those. And then last, in your estate folder, you'll want to save copies of your trust, your last will and testament, your power of attorney for finances, your health directive, also known as an advance directive or a living will, and an estate summary to make it easy for your executors and your family to know what's going on. If you don't have any of these, then you'll want to stay tuned for the estate planning episode coming up shortly, and we'll cover exactly what each of these are and why you need them. But having these folders set up in OneDrive now and collecting any and all of this data that you can will make every single episode coming up that much easier. Action step number 3, if you haven't yet, is to take the Financial Planning Score quiz. Fun fact, if you take that quiz after completing steps 1 and 2, you'll get a higher score, and you'll see why if you haven't taken the quiz yet. And this will just give you a good benchmark for where you are in the financial planning process. If you take the quiz now and then take it again after your financial planning is done, you should see a huge increase in your score, and that will be quite rewarding to be able to see. So take the quiz now if you haven't, and then we'll take it again at the end of financial planning and see the improvements. So again, schedule 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how complicated your financial life is, to get these done. Connect your accounts, organize your files, take the quiz, and then stay tuned for the upcoming episodes on creating a financial plan. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you Monday.